I believe it is still early in this trade. I believe many of these gold mining stocks will increase in value by 5 to 10 times, even from their current position. It might take another 5 or 10 years to get it done. I'm not sure, but I believe that's where they should be, because I think gold will keep rising since the dollar will keep falling. No se va a detener en 5,000. No se va a detener en 10 de 100. It will increase. I think it could reach 20,000. Who knows? But you said gold is at $3,850. Eso es $150 menos que $4,000. Consider that. $150, and gold is at $4,000. This is not something to ignore. You know, when the price of gold changes, it's different from the price of cheese or lumber or soybeans. This isn't about having a bad crop. You know, there was a drought, a flood, or just a big rise in demand for corn or something like that. Esto es oro. Okay? It's not that Americans or anyone else suddenly wants a lot more jewelry, okay? No hay una avalancha en las joyerías. Gold is increasing in value due to its financial characteristics. Is a precious metal. When gold is increasing like this, it is a warning sign. Claro. It is a warning sign in the financial system. When you notice this, it's a sign that something bad is going on. The largest buyers of gold are central banks from other countries. So, don't you think they understand something? I mean, they are the people who know a lot about the money system, right? And they are buying gold as quickly as possible. It's like they're selling dollars, isn't it? These insiders are selling dollars, selling treasuries, and buying gold. Why are they doing this? Why are they choosing to give up the earnings from U.S. treasuries to hold gold, which doesn't earn anything? That says a lot. Indeed, Wall Street is starting to see this. A week or two ago, Morgan Stanley made its first changes to the 60-40 portfolio, which traditionally consists of 60% stocks and 40% bonds. They decided to reduce the bond section by half, making it 20% bonds and 20% gold. I have never seen that in my whole career. Tengo 62 años. I began my career as a licensed stockbroker at the age of 24, and during all those years, close to 40, right? No, he visto esto nunca. I was often the only one on Wall Street telling my clients to buy real gold. Now, for the first time, more wirehouse firms and institutional investment banks are aware of this. Saying you have to sell bonds and buy gold because, there's a lot of inflation that you need to protect against. The idea of 2% inflation is no longer valid. It's not like 2% was ever a perfect goal or anything. I'd prefer no inflation at all instead of having a 2% increase. Or I'd like prices to drop by 2% rather than rise by 2%. That's an improvement. Understood. I want to buy things for less money. Prefiero pagar menos. Okay. But now it will be much more than 2 because the Fed is lowering rates while inflation is at 3%, even according to their own measurements, but it is increasing. So it's going up, yet they're lowering interest rates. This means that the 2% target is no longer valid. What's the new target? Who knows? They've never admitted to one, but it's much higher. I believe that the world is moving away from using the dollar. I believe this is a serious issue for the United States, because America relies on the dollar too much. Our economy is really messed up because of the dollar's status. We have been living beyond our means for many years. We can use things without making them, and we can take loans without having savings. And that's made possible because of the dollar's reserve status. The world is ready to produce goods, and let us buy them for dollars. The world is ready to lend us dollars so we can have lower interest rates, and they're ready to buy our stocks to support our markets. Pero creo que todo eso va a cambiar. I believe this entire house of cards economy is going to fall apart. You will notice a significant rise in consumer prices and long-term interest rates in America, along with a major drop in the standard of living. Para la mayoría de los estadounidenses. First of all, if half of the money in bonds at Wall Street firms went into gold, who knows how high the price would rise? Primero que nada, va a afectar a los bonos. Currently, the bond market is much larger than the gold market. In the future, the gold market could grow larger if the price increases significantly. What Morgan Stanley was really doing was sending a sell signal on treasuries, advising its customers to sell treasury. That will have an effect. If more Wall Street firms want to sell treasuries, central banks are also selling them. And the Treasury is selling treasuries like crazy, which they are, but they are indeed selling more treasuries than ever before. Our deficits are in the trillions each year. Right now, the US government is selling more treasuries than ever, but the people who buy treasuries are not interested in them. That's why the Fed will need to buy them. The Fed is currently selling treasuries. They are continuing with quantitative tightening, but I believe they will have to switch back to quantitative easing, and that will cause inflation to rise significantly. I believe the gold market is already aware of that, or the investors are. That's one reason they continue to sell dollars and buy gold. It means that Wall Street pushing customers to invest in gold is going to be significant. I believe that they will not only shift their customers from bonds to gold, but also from Bitcoin to gold. I believe that many people on Wall Street, even if they haven't often supported it, have helped a lot of discount firms create Bitcoin ETFs. This has allowed many investors to put their money into Bitcoin. I believe that much of the money that invested in Bitcoin ETFs came from gold, ETFs, and gold mining stocks. I believe that investors who became frustrated with gold's poor performance and the weak gold stocks and chose to invest in Bitcoin ETFs instead will realize next year that gold stocks more than doubled while Bitcoin stayed the same or decreased. I mean, it's doing well this year, but it could drop in the fourth quarter. I believe you'll notice a significant movement of money from Bitcoin ETFs back into gold and gold stocks. This will not only help increase the value of gold and gold stocks, but it will also drop Bitcoin even further, since a lot of the money invested in Bitcoin ETFs isn't going to come back out. Okay, it's like a money roach motel. You can deposit your money, but you can't take it out because when you try to sell, the market falls apart and there are no buyers. Oh, I understand that part. Do you see any signs that might lead investors to that choice? The performance of gold so far this year is impressive. Está cerca del 40%. Es el mejor año. We have seen it everywhere since 1979. Q3 seems to be the best quarter ever recorded. The superlatives are very strong and clearly indicate gold. But what could cause that change in momentum? We've noticed that S&P investors were trying to achieve 25% yearly gains, but they still haven't quite left the main market, right? We need to activate. I remember in early 2024, I was discussing this on my podcast. A couple of firms decided to lower their ratings on Newmont and Barrick to sell. And they said that gold has no more potential for growth. Gold was priced at $2,000. The analysts were saying that gold is mostly at its full price now. It's more probable that it will decrease. Therefore, buying these gold stocks is pointless. Since then, the price of gold has nearly doubled. Ahora son casi 4,000. The mining stocks that they recommended selling have more than doubled in value since that recommendation. Wall Street was completely caught off guard by this trade, and they are just beginning to get positions now. I believe this change has a long way to go. I don't believe there will be any significant downturns. This means there will be price drops for a day or two, but I don't believe we'll see a 10% drop in gold prices. Even a 3% or 4% drop will be hard to achieve. There is a lot of money ready to come in, so any drop in prices will be quickly purchased. And that's what I've been telling my customers at Shift Gold. I keep saying, stop waiting for a pullback. You'll be waiting a long time, and then you'll end up paying a lot more. Simply purchase. Are you looking to buy gold? Purchase it. ¿Quieres comprar plata? Purchase it. Don't be clever. Don't wait for a pullback, because even if you do get one, it might not be enough and you could miss out. By the time you buy, the price will likely be higher. Just get it. What you really need to do is get out of the dollar. The dollar is in trouble. The only thing we don't know is how quickly it will reach the bottom. Pero sabemos que se está hundiendo. The sooner you leave, the better. The longer you wait, the higher the water level will be when you get off. Así que solo tienes que comprar. The same applies to these gold stocks. Some have doubled and some have tripled. But if you compare where they are now to where they used to be, 10 or 20 years ago, many of them were much cheaper. Gold is much more expensive now than it was before. No es solo que las acciones están bajas. The value of the gold they have has increased a lot. I believe the profits from these gold mining stocks are going to surge, meaning no one has even written down on paper how much profit these gold companies will make if gold reaches $4,000. Of course, we won't stay at $4,000 for gold. El próximo año el oro estará en $5,000, tal vez $6,000. These companies are going to earn a lot of money, and Wall Street is just starting to notice this. I mean, there isn't a group of 7 gold stocks that are exceptionally good. No hey anachronismos. It's different from technology. Everyone is really into technology. The gold stocks are going to be like that. At some point, you'll start to notice retail investors putting their money in, like with meme stocks and similar things. But I think that's likely still years away. Now is when the real money is coming in. They overlooked the bottom. The only reason I got the low price is because I bought it very early. I knew this was going to happen a long time ago. I got ready too early. Well, I noticed this whole movement because I already had a long position, but I increased my positions in the first quarter of 2024. I bought more gold stocks when they gave these sell recommendations. I bought more gold stocks for myself after Trump won at the end of last year and early this year when they sold them off. Acabo de llegar al mercado. They dropped by about 30% because everyone believed Trump would be really good for the economy. Hey, why do you want to buy gold stocks when he's going to make the economy better? He plans to pay off the national debt and all this nonsense. I just bought it, and I was encouraging all my clients to invest more money because I knew this was nonsense. In fact, we had another chance right after Liberation Day. There was an initial sell-off of gold and silver stocks, in particular. Silver stocks fell sharply. You bought at the lowest point on Liberation Day, and now people are talking about the comeback. These silver stocks have increased 3 times since their lowest point on Liberation Day.